Will the market go further up and continue its long upwards trend, or switch direction and go short? This is what we're going to talk about in this video. We will talk about price action, how to analyze it, and how to trade it. This video will be about the short direction. So let's start right away. We are here at the $1 we are here at the 1 day chart, and we have a clear downwards trend. And here, of course, in the clear movements, it's a lot easier to find entries. So let's talk about them first. For example, here we see that the market is making lower lows and lower highs. And of course, if you want to trade here, we can place the Fibonacci retracement. And you see here the pullback is between the 38.2 and the 61.8 line. So here there's a high possibility that the market goes further down. So it's a good place to find an entry here. But of course, if you didn't get in there, you can place it at the next one. If you're not in the market yet, it's no problem. Here the market comes back up again into the same area, even is building a double top. So a good situation to place a short trade. Of course, we would go a time frame lower to look for an entry. So let's jump to the 4-hour chart first. So here we have this beautiful double top. So when the market reaches up this level again, which the market has reacted to before and which has already worked as a resistance, so this is a good situation to place a trade short. So in clean markets, it's pretty easy to find an entry. Therefore, we will take a look at a more chubby situation. Therefore, let's jump back to the 1 day chart and look at the situation after the trend has changed into an upwards trend, built new highs, new lows, but then you see here the market is coming into an area where it's finding resistance at the last high and is not really building momentum to go through this level. This is a situation where I wouldn't recommend to place a trade long, but it's a good situation to look for a short entry because we have 3 different scenarios. Let's draw in the major support and resistance areas at this point. And you see the market is moving between these areas. First case, the market is moving into a sideways range. And then we could trade with a short trade the range from the highest end of this sideways range into the lower area. Second case, the market makes a trend reversal and makes its way down. In that case, we catch a big long runner, a big movement, so it's a perfect entry for a short trade here as well. Case 3, the market bounces off this level, but then the bulls take over again and then continue the upwards trend direction. Wouldn't be a perfect entry to go short, but also a good position to at least make a small profit, because since there is a big resistance, the price is not going through. There's not much liquidity in the market, so it's a high probability that the market bounces back first. That way we can make a small profitable trade. But even if it would be a small minus trade, I hope you see the potential of this situation, because either way, the market goes up, the market goes down, the market continues to go sideways. Either way, we find a good entry short here. Worst case, we make a short trade, maybe plus minus 1. In second case, we make a good trade until this one. So it's a good risk reward ratio that we have from up here to down there. Or best case, we catch a long runner and make a big movement down and a good trade. So I hope you see the potential. We have 3 cases And in almost every case, we are highly profitable. And in the last case, we don't have much risk at all and can have still potential for a profit. So to find an entry, let's go a time frame lower. We have here as well a support and resistance level that we need to break through in order to break out of this small build sideways range here. I will make this line a different color so you don't get confused, because these two blue lines are our sideways range in the higher time frame, but in the lower time frame here on the 1 hour chart we have a small time frame, a small sideways range here as well, and we want to find a good entry here now. So let's see, the market continues within the sideways range. And right at this point, we have a breakout out of this sideways range. So the breakout traders would have a great position here to place a short trade from the upper side to the lower side of the superior sideways range. But of course, with a second target further down in case the market makes a trend reversal, reversing into the short direction. But if you are not a breakout trader, no problem, because we wait for a different possibility to enter the trade. I zoomed in a little bit again because now the market is making a pullback. For all those who wait for confirmation and to confirm that this is not a fake breakout, for them this area gets really interesting because we have here a bearish candlestick pattern. So the bearish candle engulfs the green bullish one. So this is an indication that the market turns into the short direction now. So this is an entry for those who didn't enter the market yet. Stop loss up here. First target down here. So it's a good risk reward ratio for that trade as well. Over 2. If we are having a reversal, of course, a lot bigger one. So what we see here, we have hit the take profit within the lower area of our superior sideways range. So it's a profitable trade, but we still don't know if we are still in a sideways range, if the market drops down through this resistance and continues its way short, or if we have a trend continuation long. So let's take a look. So you see, in this case, the market has not even made a trend reversal, but we still had a beautiful upwards trade within the sideways range or this superior upwards trend. So what I really want to point out, that it's not only possible to trade within a clear trend. So you find even in a trend which is going into the opposite direction, a really good setup for good trades with good profits. Let's take a look at a different example. We have a clean upwards trend here, and then the market is pulling back, but then having trouble to make a new high. There is resistance in the market, and therefore we want to place a trade short, because same case as before, if the market decides to continue sideways at first, then we trade from the upper side of the sideways range to the lower side. So a good setup for that. Also, if the market decides to make a trend reversal, a really awesome setup, because we have in really much space downwards for a really big trade, like we're trading in our VIP group really often. And on the third case, the market bounces back but then continues long, could still be profitable or maybe break even. Doesn't matter really much since the risk isn't high, but the potential of the two other trades is really well. Let's jump to a lower time frame. And here at the 1 hour chart, for example, we can see that we have the resistance definitely here. So this area acted as support and resistance. For the breakout traders, again, we have here a good position to place a trade long with our stop loss up here. But for those who still wait for confirmation, they can use the Fibonacci retracement right here to see that the pullback may end right at this area, or also wait for the beautiful double top here and enter a trade short right after that. Again, with the stop up here and the first target down here. Of course, only the first target, since in case of a trend reversal, we want to catch the big movement. So we have hit target 1 right at this point. For that reason, I will zoom out again to get a better overview. And as you see here, it worked out really, really well since we had a trend reversal. And you see in this case, it's such a beautiful entry that we have made, and a really, really big trade, which isn't even ending yet. So you can start your trade management and move your stop loss above the last highs, for example. But make sure you make sure you leave enough room. For example, here you need to take the big movements, because if you take the small movements here, you may cut the trade too early. For example, if you would place after this movement the stop loss right here, you would have been knocked out right after. So always make sure you leave enough room. But you see, we have a really, really beautiful trade down here. So this makes even more clear how good it is to enter a trade right at this point, because in every case you have a good potential, and if the market is reversing, you have a really, really big movement and a big profit. The trade is not even over yet, but we have already 12 times the reward of our initial risk. That's it for this video, how to trade price action short. If you want more, then don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to trade with me, below this video you will find the link for more information. So that's it, and see you next week again.